everyone. This is Keith Schmitz with Grassroots North Shore. You are watching the very first of a series of videos that we call Econ4Voters. Now, if you've been to the Grassroots website, you've probably noticed we have a tab called Econ4Voters. And so what we're doing is we're putting this into video form. It will feature our resident economist, Bill Holohan, Professor Emeritus with UWM, and this will be taking place every couple of weeks or so. Bill, of course, has a lot of viewpoints and facts on a variety of issues, and you'll come away knowing more and being able to discuss these things with your friends, coworkers, and relatives. So, put this number in your mind, 45 million. That's the number of people from age 20 or in their 20s into their senior years who are paying off their student loan burden. Now, of course, these loans help them get their way through college, but now they're facing a lot of money that they're going to have to pay off, not just the original loan itself, but all the interest and the fees that have piled up on top of that. So these loans have been a crushing burden for many. So a couple of weeks ago, President Joe Biden proposed a debt relief program for those 15% of the country who owe this money. This has been something that people have been wanting for years, and Joe Biden has finally gone ahead and done it. So the reaction, of course, from the borrowers was jubilation. But from others, there's been resentment because many of them never went to college, or they maybe went to college and were able to pay as they went and had parents that could afford to do that, or they paid off their loans. So Bill is going to sort out the economic implications of this proposal by Joe Biden, and of course there's going to be many. So if you happen to be on the live feed right now, please submit your questions, and Bill will answer them as we go along. Now, if you're not, we encourage you to check out the Q&A part of this when as you are watching this video, and for sure try to make it to the next ones that will be live. Watch Facebook, watch Grassroots North Shore newsletter, and other means that we're going to be promoting this. And I'm sure that you'll really come away feeling like you've spent your time has been well spent over the next 15 minutes at least. So let's hear from Bill. Bill, take it away.
Thank you, Keith. Well, before we turn this over to our question period on Facebook, let's explore the Joe Biden executive order that forgave $10,000 of student loan debt for those who have outstanding loan debt, $20,000 for those who had Pell Grants, and ask some of the questions that are buzzing around after the executive order. First of all, what is the burden of the student loan debt? Is it fair to the taxpayers to forgive some of this indebtedness? Is it fair to the student borrower to forgive only part of the debt? And will Biden's executive order add to the already high rate of inflation? So let's talk for a few minutes about what economics might say about these questions. First, what is the burden of the loan repayment? Well, college education is an asset. It lasts a very long time. Therefore, it's like a home mortgage loan. And the burden of such a loan is the ratio of monthly payment to monthly income. We can also recognize that unlike a home mortgage payment, it doesn't have to be the same every month. And if we recognize that lifetime income typically rises from entry-level jobs and then peaks at around age 40 to 45, and then it plateaus for the remainder of the career, that suggests that we cap monthly payments to a fraction of income, say 5%. And then that payment would be 5% of a rising curve, and it would be 5% of that plateau until the loan is paid off. Joe Biden has done us one better and cut off the payments after 20 years. So the bulk of the loan would be paid off by then, and even if you cap it at 5%. So if you stretch out the payments in this way, more of the repayment is done in the high income years, and less of the repayment is done during the low income years just after graduation. And that addresses a key part of the burden. Another thing we should recognize is that the government share of the total cost of education used to be around 50 to 60%. Now in Wisconsin, it's 17%, and in states like Colorado, it's only 5%. Could also recognize that certain offsets can be built into the program, with greater debt forgiveness for people who do meritorious duty, like teaching school in high poverty areas, or in AmeriCorps, or Peace Corps for that matter. If we put this in the form of an equation, we could say full cost is student share plus state and federal support plus fundraising plus yield on endowment. And because this portion has fallen, this portion has gone up. In other words, the total cost of an education, the professors and the building maintenance and all that stuff, has gone up at about the rate of inflation. But the state share has gone down. Therefore, the share paid by the students has to rise faster than inflation. Okay. Does borrowing make a borrower worse off? No one has a gun to your head. The borrowed money, if it's invested in a way that enhances ability to pay, then the borrower's position improves. It doesn't get worse. Borrowing per se is not the problem. Should low-income students borrow more or less than middle-income students? Well, borrowing does not make poor students poor. They are already poor. The whole purpose of some of this is to make the poor person, give them a chance to become non-poor. And a well-regulated program keeps out the fly-by-night crackpot universities, shouldn't even be called universities. But if you're in a good university and a well-regulated student loan program, poor students can earn the same degree as the higher income student who doesn't have to borrow. In fact, it's natural that the indebtedness of low-income students would be greater than the indebtedness of high-income students, because they have fewer ways of assembling the ability to pay. This is not, so we would expect the indebtedness of low-income people to be higher than the indebtedness of high-income people. That is a problem with the prior income and wealth distribution. It is not a problem with the loan program itself. An important and very often neglected additional problem. If you want to cut the cost of education and increase its benefits, use high school strategically, particularly in 3 areas. First, computer skills. College is high tech in every subject, certainly engineering, science, computer science itself. obviously very high tech, but you'll find that it's also true in the history department, in the sociology department, certainly in finance, certainly in education. So get your computer skills well developed to the extent that you can in high school so that you're ready to roll in college. And the second, math and English. These are languages. Math is a language. It allows you to study all kinds of things, not just STEM. It's obviously important there, but it's also true in economics, finance, history, everywhere where statistics and econometrics and other computer-aided study is required. English composition, you're going to write in college. Take writing courses in high school to get ready for that. It's one of the most surprising things that students encounter is how much writing there is in college. Get into the good habits in high school. This is a surprising headline. There is a danger of borrowing too little. Too many students try to work their way through college. It's almost impossible these days. Working at low-paying jobs to meet college expenses could be counterproductive. Such jobs take a lot of time and energy that it would be better spent in getting a rigorous education with high grades. That way, when you graduate, you can market that transcript into a better job, making it easier to pay off the student loan that made the whole thing possible. Try not to work more than 5 or 10 hours a week of employment. Some of it's fun, some of it's you meet a lot of nice people, but anything more than that, your grades will go down, and that's counterproductive to the entire enterprise. The double major option. Here's a fact of life. Some majors don't pay off financially. You know which ones they are. Other majors do pay off financially. You know which ones they are. Electrical engineering is at the top of that list. Economics and finance are right near the top. Physics, applied math, and all the STEM stuff, they're at the top of the list. Other majors are not. So if your passion is in one of those majors that does not have a high financial payoff, go on payscale.com to find out which ones they are. Consider the double major. Major in your passion, study it hard, enjoy it, get a great personal reward on it. But with the second major, in case you need a job that has a bit more financial payoff. Now, let's turn to inflation. This is a red herring. It's being thrown out that Joe Biden's program is inflationary and it's going to kill the budget and everything else. Nobel Prize winning economist Joe Stiglitz, great guy, smart as can be, wrote this article in the Atlantic magazine. Canceling student debt will cut inflation is the title of his article. What is he talking about? The program cost is in the neighborhood of $300 billion. But that's not 1 year. That's over the life of the outstanding loans, the outstanding indebtedness that the students now have. And some of those loans have a lifespan of 10 years, 15 years, maybe longer. So the number that would annualize the cost is 24 billion. And even that's too high because some of the students are not going to be able to pay. And they qualify for loan forgiveness programs that a financial advisor can tell you all about. But $24 billion is the annualized figure. That's 0.1% or 1/1000th of GDP. That's too small to be inflationary, but there's more. Wait, there's more. The loan repayments are in a pause right now because of the pandemic. And that ends in January of 2023. The loan repayments will resume in January. That's $30 billion a year, which is bigger than 24. In other words, debt forgiveness can only be inflationary if the net effect is a large amount of additional spending. Stiglitz shows that the net result is a minuscule $6 billion a year decrease. So it's not inflationary. With that, let's go to the questions, and I'll turn this back to Keith, who will organize that part of our program. Take it away, Keith.
Thanks, Bill, for your take and your expertise on this vital topic. Bill's going to hang around after this video to answer any of your questions. We'll be back in a few weeks with another one of these videos, and so in order to find out when the next one pops up, go to our website, grassrootsnorthshore.com, and sign up. Along with this excellent information, you'll get our well-regarded weekly newsletter to keep you up to date on what's going on in the North Shore and throughout Milwaukee politically. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.